Hey Susie, I love these summer months. And you know what? I know you and I go to a lot of horse shows. But you know, every now and then it's fun to go on these trail rides. And one sponsored by the Jackson County Sheriff's Mounted Posse. This is something you and I are going to do. We're going on the Kansas City Cowboys for Cops trail ride. And this is a solidarity ride for first responders and police officers that have fallen in the line of duty.
It's such a great cause, so we love that Better Horses can support it. And I know that we've got a lot of viewers that are trail riders, so it's fun to cater to all the different disciplines of horses.
You know what? And I'm going to tell all our horseback riders to encourage to get out to their sheriff's department, create their own mounted posse within their community. Hello everyone, my name's Ed Adams.
And I'm Susie Arbo.
And welcome to Better Horses. Susie, in our first segment, we'll have the famous world-class trainer Al Dunning will give us an intro of how to choose a hackamore for your horse.
In this episode, we are honored to feature the Kansas City Cowboys for Cops. This 501c3 organization is managed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Mounted Posse. With Ed Adams, the captain, the Mounted Posse coordinates groups of equine enthusiasts to ride and financially support law enforcement and first responders in Missouri and Kansas.
And this week we get to welcome back Kerry Kuhn. He's an all-around horseman, offering unique approach on training horses and building rider horsemanship skills.
So stay with us, because I know this is going to be an episode you're really going to enjoy. And you know what? It's the only horse show on your local broadcast television station.
And proud to be airing on RFD TV and the Cowboy Channel.
We'll be right back.
Hi, Better Horses TV. I'm Al Dunning here in Scottsdale, Arizona at my Almost Ranch. And today, I thought to tell you a little bit about riding in the hackamore. A few years ago, I wrote a book called The Art of Hackamore Training with Western Horseman magazine with my friend Benny Gatrone. And, if you're interested in learning more about riding in a hackamore, this would be a good guide for you. So I have this little mare here, and what made me think of this too is that this mare had a really bad wolf tooth. And the mare to have a tooth in the bottom part is unusual, but she had some caps and she had a big wolf tooth that we pulled out. And so I needed to ride her in the hackamore for a few days and let her mouth heal up. So I decided I'd start riding her in the hackamore, and she took to it really good. There's all kinds of hackamores you can choose from. So right here, there's mechanical hackamores, which I don't have an example of that right here. I should have. But this is a side pull. It used to be a thing that a lot of people like to break horses in because it pulled them right in the side of their mouth or right in the side of their face and pulled their head around squarely. This is what we call a lope rope. It's just a nylon rope hackamore. It's kind of stiff. And you can ride colts in it, or you can lope horses in it, or you can, pull colts around. We actually work them in the cow on it, which I do a lot. This is a real heavy, stiff hackamore. Like you got a big, tough horse that needs something to kind of bounce around on their head. So the horse finds the spot. It was what we call it, finds the spot. So you don't have to pull them around. It just sort of bounces around, and pretty soon they get to carrying their head in the right position. That's what that's for. This is Don Brown made this, my friend who's the best hackamore maker I know. And this is just a light hackamore. Nylon rope at the bottom, rawhide over the nose. This hackamore I use to just lightly pull horses around, horses that are lighter in the head. So this is for like the big heavy-headed horses. This is for the light horses. Now Don made me this too. In the old days, I saw a lot of people break their broncs in a hackamore like this. So this is tail hair. It's stiff. It's got a couple of nose buttons on it. You know, you can take a horse like this, a horse, and put them in this in just a couple of days. You can soften them up. And I'm talking, these are the tougher side horses. So when it gets down to a mare like this one, you know, you see, you know, she's got real fine features, real fine nose, things. You know, she wouldn't be the kind to put in that hackamore. She'd need rider in something a little softer. So the first one I rode her in was this one, this little lightweight one. Now I've ridden her in a couple times. Now I've put this Dom Brown rawhide hackamore on her. I love this hackamore. You know, the adjustments of the hackamore has got to be right. This is the nose, bridge of the nose, right here where my finger is. So the hackamore has to rest above the bridge of the nose. The second thing is, when you pull it back, it should pull back halfway between the corner of the mouth and the jowl. So you see that's properly adjusted and works well. Pretty much all my hackamores have a short nose button. This is called the nose button right across here. And because of that, most of my hackamores have a jowl string on it. So this has a string that goes from eye to eye. It keeps the headstall out of the eyes when I pull it around. So there's a whole lot of things to talk about hackamores. One more thing before I get on, I'll tell you about tying the rope. You know, there's all kinds of things that people do to how to tie the rope on. So one of the traditional ways is, you know, just tucking it in your belt. So a lot of guys will tuck it in their belt. So when they get off the horse to doctor cattle or something like that, they can leave the reins up on the horn and they've got a hold of their horse, the horse can get away. You know, this is probably a $1,500 hackamore with a pair of $300 macate or rope reins. You know, with that, I'm not going to get off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it on. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways. One way is to make a loop like this and then turn it around. If you put it on like this, tie it on, it'll slip out. But if you tie it backwards like this, on here it won't. And that's a pretty traditional way. A lot of the vaqueros tied it on so it's backwards. It's harder to pull out because it pulls against it. Put a good square knot on it. Or you can go like this and tie it up through the gullet of the saddle and up over the horn. That's a good way to do it. If this is real long, you can put a half hitch or two on it, like that. Let me get on and just show you a couple little things. You know, my greatest tip will be riding in a hackamore is that you're light with your hands. You know, when you ride in a hackamore, it's really about bumping the nose. So this little mare's grabbing the rope. She wants to get into everything. Okay, so this is how you pull one around. You take it and rock that hand in and out. Let that hackamore rock. It's like when you stop, you rock your hands. Make that hackamore move. Okay, so anything you're going to do, you're going to move those hands and rock your hands as you go. Now remember, a hackamore is the transition between riding in a snaffle, two hands, and going to the bridle. So this is my last tip for you, so get this one. So when I start my horses in the hackamore, I pull them around with the direct rein first, then the neck rein second. That moves their shoulder. As the horse finally gets to understand that every time they turn to the right, they should lead with their nose, and then the shoulder should move. The next transition, so I can go right from the hackamore to one hand in the bridle, is to start them on the neck rein first. So start them like this. Rub the neck, bump the nose to tell them, hey, make sure you bring your nose. Rub the neck, bring the nose. Okay, so I'll go over that one more time for you guys. So the first thing you do is you start your horses by bringing their nose, following it with the outside rein, then outside leg. Okay? Okay, inside rein, outside, or neck rein, outside leg. And once the horse gets it, to be able to teach them the neck rein, you take the outside rein first. Rub that outside rein on their neck. Bump the inside rein to reiterate the bend to get them solid. You know, riding in a hackamore is one of the best things you can do for your colt. get the bit out of their mouth for a while, get this work on their nose and their jaw, get them to where they bring their head, where they break the pull properly, and where they get light. Try the Hackamore, and if you need to find me, I'm Al Dunning at aldunning.com.
And we're up here at Flint Hills at a cowboy camp with Matt and Joe. And today they put me out on the front of a little cattle drive. It's beautiful scenery, but then during the drive they put me in the back and they call it the drag. And there's a little bit of change in scenery. At the drag, got a lot of dust, getting some flies, getting some smell. You know, and that's the way it is in life. Sometimes in life, you will actually be where you'll think nobody appreciates you, getting dust kicked on you all the time. But don't worry about that, because that herd isn't moving without the person in the drag. And believe me, you are important. God loves you. He sent His Son for you. The Bible says everything you do, do as unto the Lord. And that's what we want to do. I want you to know you're important. There'll be days you'll be out on front. There'll be days you'll be back in the back on the drag. Okay? I'm David Ferris from Alabama. I'm with Cowboy Ministry. And I'm so glad to be part of the Better Horse family. And I wish y'all the best, and may you ride with the Lord.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after these messages.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
No matter what discipline of riding you do, training, showing, and everyday stress is hard on your horse's legs. Decra Veterinary Products is a leading lameness company that brought you Osphos. Osphos is a clodronate injection, an intramuscular bisphosphonate to help control the clinical signs of navicular syndrome in horses 4 years and older. Ask your veterinarian if Osphos is right for your horse. Decra Veterinary Products is a proud sponsor of The American.
What do you get when you bring together one of the biggest names in veterinary medicine with one of the most caring and committed teams of horse health experts in the industry? You get a vaccine portfolio known for its quality and safety, a pharmaceutical line you can rely on to help manage pain and support performance. You get the products, programs, and people of Merck Animal Health.
This is our 5th Kansas City Cowboys for Cops and our 2nd ride here in the beautiful city of Oak Grove, Missouri. Thank you so much for being here. We are so excited to present to you who we're going to give money to. And there's a bunch of them.
The Mounted Posse raises money for first responders in need, any equine rescue therapy program within the Kansas City metro area, and also animal rescues in general. We ride to raise money for the first responders who need it, the guys that run to danger and get hurt, family members who are left behind. That's why we're here, and the Posse is an amazing organization that has been in this for 40 years.
So we'll stop at this stop sign.
You never know what you're going to come into, but we always try to prepare our horses for traffic, for riding on asphalt, for seeing little kids and spectators on the side of the road. For our event, we keep our horses ridden consistently. We practice riding on asphalt. We practice riding with groups of people. You never know what's going to happen on the side of the road. You always bring your best horse to one of these events. For the 5 different rides that we have hosted for Kansas City Cowboys for Cops, we've always been successful. My job is as the main outrider. I designate riders to go with us. They are spending their time keeping our group together and as solid as possible so that we have an even flow of traffic to go with our rolling police escort. Such as today we had a short incident, someone dropped something, had to get off, so it kind of put a block in our flow of the event, the ride, and we had to make sure they got back on. Sometimes people come into our rides, they're a little intimidated, maybe it's their first parade, and the main thing is don't quit. Don't get off your horse. It won't help you. Just keep riding. And for an event like ours, that's why we have so many outriders. They're always on hand to help you with your horse. But the best thing for an event like this is to stay confident, talk to your horse, ride it before you bring it. But it's so good for you and your horsemanship and for your horse in general. Hi, my name is Sergeant Kelly McComb with the Jackson County Sheriff's Mounted Posse of Jackson County, Missouri, and this is my horse, Cortina. We're here for the Kansas City Cowboys for Cops ride in Oak Grove, Missouri, and thank you so much for watching Better Horses.
Cowboys and cowgirls, don't go anywhere. We have more better horses coming your way.
So I went to several different dealerships. I started at Heritage Tractor, and I didn't want to buy a piece of equipment that can only do one job. I wanted versatility to be able to fit in a small space, but also still do big jobs. And so I went with the 2 Series John Deere. I got a 2038R, and I can switch in seconds between any attachment, and I haven't seen anyone else who offers that kind of speed and adaptability. There's not really a day that goes by that I don't start that tractor up.
No matter what discipline of riding you do, training, showing, and everyday stress is hard on your horse's legs. Decra Veterinary Products is a leading lameness company that brought you Osphos. Osphos is a clodronate injection, an intramuscular bisphosphonate to help control the clinical signs of navicular syndrome in horses 4 years and older. Ask your veterinarian if Osphos is right for your horse. Decra Veterinary Products is a proud sponsor of The American.
It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
Ernie, it's so great to have you with us here today. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of Better Horses TV. I'm excited, Ernie, to have Colt out here with me today. He's on Miss Purina, and here's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about dealing with this buddy sour issue. But as we're doing that, I hope your viewers see what Colt is trying to accomplish with this horse, because we're also addressing this idea of what we really want in our horses that we're going to be putting our kids on, if we're talking about a kid horse. So this idea of a buddy sour horse, horses want to be together, It's fun for a horse to be together, especially when they're doing this. It's not so fun for horses to be together when they're working. So Colt and I are going to get busy, but I want your viewers, Ernie, to notice what Colt can get done with his horse. I'm going to talk Colt through what we're doing. Colt, I want you to come right over here on my right side. So I've got this stick with this sack on it, Ernie. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little noise and movement to the mix. So Colt, I want you to trot right up here beside me. I'm going to roll my horse up to a lope. Colt, I want you to just lope right beside me, okay? So roll your horse up here in the lope, in the left lead. On the outside, bud. You're going to have to lope a little faster. So here's where our fun starts to happen, Ernie. For Colt, he's building a lot of confidence now to be able to speed up, to lope around, to go a little bit faster. So he's out here saying, now, Dad, how do I get my horses to not be stuck on wherever you go on your horse? So I'm just going to say, well, if your horse wants to be with mine, Colt, just come right along here and you can lope with me. Colt, can you speed up a little bit? There you go. There you go. I'm going to make a little noise right here, see if I can bother his horse a little bit. See, I want his horse to not be bothered by the noise and movement of this flag. I want his horse to not be bothered by the life and energy that comes up in my horse that tends to carry over into the other horses that are around. Okay, get on up here beside me, bud. I'll hand you this flag. You got it? All right, you got to get a hold of the handle of it. Now you make some noise with it. Just stay right there on that circle. There you go. Atta boy. He's just loping around. You see how I've got my horse pretty close to his. And Ernie, we'll just be here loping around for a little bit. Now switch hands, Colt. There you go. Now, I'm not going to throw just any kid up here, Ernie, and have him do this. Colt's got the confidence to be up there. He handles himself really good. His balance is really good. But as we spend some time loping like this, now you can slow down to a walk, Colt. Go ahead and slow down there. Atta boy. So I'm going to let Colt just sit right there, and I'm going to stop right here. So the idea there, Ernie, is these horses want to be together out of instinct, out of their safety in numbers, out of, I got to be near other horses, or I feel more secure when there's other horses around, because that means we have more eyes and more ears to see things that might sneak up on us. But I'll promise you, as we invest time like this, where his horse is close to my horse and we're loping around together and we turn that into work, pretty soon that horse over there and this horse right here is saying, I don't want anywhere near that horse. Then we split and we let him rest like we are right here. But again, if you guys have been watching how Colt's loping around, he's got a lot of confidence up there. His horse is steering where he wants to go. He doesn't mind going fast. We can add some things to the mix. I don't have to worry about, well, if somebody else is making a lot of noise, just come right around here beside me, Colt. If somebody else is making a lot of noise on their horse out here in this arena, or I take him to a clinic somewhere, you know, we're out here trying to create that noise, that movement that might show up somewhere else that's outside of our control, just to get our horses' minds ready for it. But more than anything, I'm trying to get his mind ready for it too. And guys, if you're gonna approach this idea of Buddy Sour horse, it's really easy to change if you just think about it from that perspective. But throwing him in the mix saying, I want that in my kid horses, guys, this is what changes everything, and this is what makes it easy to build confidence in these guys as they're sitting on your horse. I know this is throwing a lot at your audience. I know that I'm not saying by any means that y'all just need to throw your kids up there and go loping around and lope up beside them and wave this flag. This is something we're working up to. But this will tell us a lot about our horses as we're working up to that point. You get there, what you're going to do is you're going to have a frame of mind in your horse where you've just made it a lot safer for your kids while they're riding your horses around. So Ernie, I hope that's something that can benefit your viewers. Thank you so much for letting us be on your show. You guys can go to kerrykuhn.com to find out more about what we do, our clinics, our horses, and hope to see you down the road. Thank you, Ian. Thank you again, Ernie.
Closed captioning has been brought to you by Lina Weaver
and Flat Tail Ranch.
Those of us who devote our lives to the animals we love can recall a kind of dawning. A time when something inside us awoke, like a seed planted deep within us, and it had taken root and begun to grow. And from that moment on, the path ahead was clear. That one seed set our course and determined who we would be, how we would live, forever connected to the land. We found purpose in these remarkable creatures that depend on us. At Stanley Premium Western Forage, we believe that purpose is what sets us apart and binds us all together. It's why our family built a company dedicated to supporting, enriching, nourishing the animals we all care for and this lifestyle we share. Stanley Premium Western Forage. Grown for the life we love.
Hey, thank you for watching Better Horses. And if you've missed any of our shows, check us out at betterhorses.com, where you can see all our episodes.
You can also follow us on Facebook or listen to any of our podcasts right from your mobile device.
And don't forget our newspaper coming out 5 times a year.
You're gonna love it.